Hey there. Hi, my name is Chrystal Bougon, and I'm the founder of blissconnection.com, which is a romance toy store for mature people who are looking for romance products to improve their romantic life. And I'm here today to talk to you about letting go so you can improve your romantic life, your intimate life, and you can improve your love life by getting a little greedy. And I'll talk about what I mean when I say that later. But I want to just introduce myself. And also, I want to say thank you to Lisa for creating the She Is Me conference and for inviting me to be a part of it. Lisa and I met around, I'm going to say about maybe 10 years ago. I used to own a boutique called Curvy Girl Lingerie. As you can see, I'm a fat woman. I'm 53. And I used to own a boutique for women of size, or people of size, I should say. People size 14 and larger. And it was just a store dedicated to people size 14 and larger. And Lisa shopped there a few times. And that's how we got to know each other. And then we got to know each other as business owners and through networking. And anyway, I'm super grateful to Lisa for all of her wisdom and all of her knowledge and all of her generosity of sharing with all of us and for giving me this opportunity to talk to all of you. I'm now an electrologist. I do hair removal, and that's where I'm in my electrology office today. I'm here in Campbell, California. My office is called All Bodies Welcome. And I'm all about, body positivity and fat liberation and inclusion. I think representation really matters when it comes to pretty much everything in our lives. So thank you, Lisa. Like me, probably all of you have things about your body that you don't love. Maybe you have 25 pounds you want to lose. Maybe you hate your stretch marks, or you have skin tags, or you have age spots that you don't like. And sometimes those things start adding up, right? There's so many things that we dislike about our bodies, and we start piling them up in our brains, right? We start internalizing our feelings about these particular things. And as we all know, Naomi Wolf came out with a book called The Beauty Myth in 1990. And she talked about how the media creates images that they kind of oppress women, right? They have an obsession. The media has an obsession with physical beauty and to attain a certain beauty myth, or we're going to call it. That's what Naomi called it. It's a myth because it doesn't really exist. Even supermodels will tell you they don't look like that, right? They've been photoshopped. We all know all this stuff already. So anyway, when I owned my store in San Jose here, I used to own a store, like I said, called Curvy Girl for women size 14, people size 14 and larger. And that's kind of where I had an aha moment when I was at my boutique, because women would come in all the time asking me for lingerie that hides their upper arms. Okay, lingerie doesn't hide upper arms, right? And I would look at them like, how am I going to help you to get confident about your upper arms? And by the way, when you're getting ready to be intimate with somebody, they're not looking at your upper arms. Nobody cares if you have fat upper arms when you're having sex with them. I promise you, nobody cares, right? So I started thinking about this, how often it came up, how often we talked about this. And I started thinking about my own sort of upper arms thing, which wasn't upper arms, but I was nervous to have sex with the lights on because I'm a fat person. My partner's not fat. I wasn't sure he understood what it meant to be fat. No matter how much black I wore, I know he could still tell how fat I was. I wasn't camouflaging anything. And I knew he was really into me, and he paid me all these really lovely compliments, telling me how hot I am and how beautiful I am. And I started thinking to myself, what's holding me back? How do I quiet down this internalized fat phobia and this internalized sort of like not perfect enough phobia in my brain? How do I shut those down and quiet those down so I can believe his compliments? By the way, have you ever given a compliment to somebody and they didn't believe you? It's so rude, right? It's rude. And I started thinking to myself, why don't I believe his compliments? Why, how can I tell him he's wrong? He thinks I'm beautiful. He thinks I'm hot. That's his truth. I can't say that's not true. So I started thinking, how can I internalize these better? How can I replace these lovely compliments with those old tapes I had running through my brain, oh, my skin tags, oh, my stretch marks, oh, I wish I was 100 pounds lighter, oh, let's turn the lights off. So what I started doing, I started collecting and keeping track of all the compliments. You're hot. You are perfection. He would tell me things like, "You're so sexy." And I'd be like, "Oh, come on. Of course I'm not sexy. I'm fat. I'm over 300 pounds." But then I started thinking, honestly, I've been fat my whole life. I've been fat since the third grade. And I've never been alone on a Saturday night unless I wanted to be. And believe me, sometimes I just want to be alone on a Saturday night. I don't want to be out on a date or whatever. But if I ever wanted to be out on a date, there was no shortage of people to go out on a date with. People who were interested in me romantically or sexually. And why couldn't I buy into that? Because I was buying what the media is selling. I'm buying into this beauty myth. I'm buying into the Western beauty standards. I think, yeah, basically the media and all those products that are trying to get sold to us, they're trying to work on our self-esteem, right? They're trying to make us feel worse. They're trying to make us feel like our boobs should lift and separate, when naturally nobody's boobs over 20 years old lift and separate, right? It's natural for breasts to, well, my breasts are kind of unruly, but it's natural for breasts to become lower and more natural and heavier and dangle more. But the media would make you think that our breasts should always stay up here, right? We should wear bras that push them together and puff them up and all those kinds of things. But the truth is, and you know this if you have any friends at all, that's not what boobs look like after the age of 25. So I decided, you know what? I need to start believing what this person's telling me. I've never been alone on a Saturday night. I've been fat my whole life. I've never lacked for a date. Why can't I believe any of this? So I had to really start doing some deep, deep work. And those people that came to my store to try to buy lingerie to cover their upper arms are what sort of gave me that aha moment. So I started keeping track of these compliments. And I would keep track of the compliments that friends would pay me or people would pay me. And I would write them down. I would keep track of them. I kind of created like an add a girl file. And for those shitty, crappy, rainy days, I would go to those files and look at all the nice things people had said to me or all the nice compliments people had given me. And I started to internalize them. And I started to use those to rewrite those old tapes that I held inside of me, telling me I'm not enough, telling me I'm not thin enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not tall enough. We get those messages all day long. And I decided to start ignoring those messages and start believing the messages that people were giving to me one-on-one, via email, via social media, in person. I'm going to start believing that stuff instead. Took me a while, but I still keep them. I keep them around. You're hot. I mean, who doesn't want to be told that they're hot? Now, I don't exist for his gaze or any male gaze or anybody else's gaze, but it does feel really good. And it does feel good to replace those old messages that I get. I mean, we still get them all day long from the media. So a couple things I want you all to do. I want you to create a compliment file, and I want you to start reading them and believing them. And one day I want you to be like me and finally be able to have sex with the lights on. My passion is passion. And I want you to be able to let go and let your hair down and have sex with the lights on, or whatever that means for you. Have sex in the living room, have sex on the kitchen, have sex at noon, have intimate time alone with yourself whenever you want to. And then I want you to read them and write them down and continue to read them and believe them. I want you to really internalize them. Even if you have to put it on your head, do whatever you have to do to really get it inside of you and get it to replace those old tapes that you have going on in there, because you're going to continue to get negative messages, right? So why not continue to get positive messages? And look, if your inner mean girl is really loud, you need to learn to talk to her and tell her, not now, not now, go away, please come back another day, because she'll always be there. So if you're going on a fun weekend or on a trip and you want to let go, you want to finally wear that lingerie for your partner or wear that lingerie for yourself, give yourself permission to do that. And just know, hey, that mean girl, she's going to be there later if you need to find her. I hope you don't, but she's never going to go away. So just put her away, talk to her, give her a name and address her and say, no, mean girl, not right now. Not right now. I want to be here. I want to be authentic. I want to be in this moment, as opposed to thinking about all these other things that the people have told me. I want to be here with my partner. I owe this to him or her. She loves me. He loves me. They're attracted to me. I need to believe that. And I want you to be able to like stop hiding from the camera when people go to take a picture, all those kinds of things. I feel like we all waste so much time trying to be this thing, this being that doesn't really exist. And we waste hours and years and months. And I don't want you to get to where I am, where I was like 45 and I was like, damn it, he's so into me. Why can't I believe him? I want you to stop wasting that time. I want you to be able to enjoy your romance or your intimacy or your affection with your partner and not try to, I know we all do this. We try to, when they go to touch our fat tummy, we move their hand trying to get them not to touch it. I know you've all done that before. Or, like I used to have a really bad beard and like goatee, and he would want to touch it. And I would like always be trying to like avoid it or shave it real quick in the hallway as I'm walking down, like all that stuff that we do. I want you to be able to stop all that stuff. I don't know if any of you ever heard of this comedian, Cat Williams. He's so funny. And he has this one skit he does where it's a little dirty. So I'm going to kind of clean it up a little bit. But he says something along the lines of, pedicure doesn't match the manicure, we effing. You haven't shaved your legs in 5 weeks, we still effing. And you haven't, the carpet doesn't match the drapes, we effing. His point is that nobody cares about that stuff except for you. And yes, it feels great to have your pedicure and your manicure and you have your legs shaved. But also when you don't let those things hold you back from being authentic and being in the moment and with your partner, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And just do it now. Don't waste any more time, and just start this practice. Create a discipline where you are remembering the compliments, you're keeping track of them, you're repeating them to yourself or out loud. You're hot, you're perfection. Excuse me, I have a little sinusitis. And stop buying what the media is selling. One of the things that I like to do when I really feel like in a funk, and I feel like, oh, I don't want to put that laundry on right now because I'm so big. I remember that large things are beautiful. Whales are beautiful. Hippos are beautiful. Giraffes are beautiful. Trees are beautiful. Mountains are gorgeous and majestic, and so am I. And sometimes you just have to think about those other things that you know in the world that maybe are a lot larger than you, because we all get so obsessed with our weight and our size, and we forget to really focus on what's really important. I don't know if you ever noticed this, but first of all, men who are normally who I have romantic relationships with, they don't just like give out compliments, right? They're not like women. Oh, your hair's so cute. I love your new shoes. Or your nails look so nice. Men don't speak like that. That's not their language. So when a man or your partner, even if it's a woman, if your partner gives you a compliment, I think you should believe it and you should really internalize it. And you need to remember that if you really need that mean girl to come back up, she can, she will, she'll be there. I promise you, she's not going to go anywhere. And if it makes you feel better to have a pedicure and a manicure, and that gives you some kind of super strength, then do it. And remember to, sometimes when you have upset with your partner, I know for me, when we get back together in the bedroom is when I kind of remember, oh yeah, I love him. I don't actually want to murder him. And I know that people in long-term relationships understand homicide. But what I do when I'm really upset and I'm having a hard time getting over it, I go back to my compliments file. You're hot. I love he tells me things like, you're such an amazing partner. Excuse me. I love the way you make me feel. I love what a great friend you are. I mean, those are really wonderful compliments too, as opposed to just the physical ones. And, like I said, men don't really just give away compliments like willy-nilly. So when a man gives you a compliment, I think you should really stop and believe it, soak it all in, take it all in, and just believe it all and internalize it and repeat it to yourself over and over again. I saw today that there was a study at the University of Kansas in 2017, and they were studying people who give compliments, who don't give compliments. And they were saying that men use compliments as a way to show they like you without saying, I like you.
So when you meet a man, he says something like, oh, you sure look nice today. I know sometimes those are not always received. It totally depends on the situation and who, if there's like a power dynamic or not. But if you're at a coffee shop and some man says, you look really nice today, I think, okay, that's nice. Men don't just give away compliments. He must really think I'm whatever it is he thinks I am. And I'm just going to believe it. I'm going to choose to believe it. I'm going to choose to receive it as a compliment. And I'm going to internalize that. I'm going to replace those old tapes. And that just helps me to kind of move through the world in a fat body with some confidence and to feel like I matter, I'm enough, I'm beautiful, and that I love my partner and I love giving him compliments. I just love giving out compliments in general, but I like to give out very true and authentic compliments. And I try to also think about compliments I can give to people that aren't related just to their physical appearance, but sometimes those are nice as well. And so my action item for you today is to, besides just receiving the compliments and internalizing them and replacing those old tapes, I want you to create a little file, even if it's a card file like mine or a file on your computer. And once you get that down and you really get it into a discipline where you're really repeating these things and you're really replacing all those mean things that you have to say about yourself, the next step I want you to do is get really greedy. Get greedy in the bedroom, get greedy when you're having sex with your partner, and just make it all about you. I don't know about you all, but I have never met a man that I needed to worry about whether or not he was going to have an orgasm. And so in my relationships have all been hetero, but I know, people have all kinds of relationships and that's lovely. But in this case, I think it makes sense to be a little more greedy in the bedroom and, sort of maybe even, what do you call that when you're trying to ask for it? You're trying to like passive aggressively try to get a compliment. Like do those kinds of things. It's like, babe, what do you think? How's my booty looking today? How's my cleavage looking today? Don't I smell good? Aren't I smart? Like fish for a compliment. Why not? And get really greedy in the bedroom. And I promise you, the greedier you get, the more fun you're both going to have. And it just like I said, I never worry about a man's orgasm. We need to worry about the female orgasm. The female orgasm is much more difficult than the male orgasm. Of course, I want my partner to climax, but if you make it all about you, if we make it all about the woman in the bed, or the women in the bed, it's going to be super hot, I promise, because you're going to be out of your head. You're not going to be somewhere else. You're going to be in the moment. You're going to be your authentic self, and you're going to be greedy and make it all about you. And it's just going to get juicy and yummy and heavenly. And you just kind of walk with a little more bounce in your step when you feel really like you're being seen and you're being heard and you're being showered with compliments. It's a lovely feeling, right? And especially when they're authentic and they're from someone you love. Some people ask me, how do I have such a thick skin? How come I don't get offended when people shame me or troll me? I have a Facebook page for Curvy Girl Lingerie and I have 500,000 followers. And we get a lot of trolls there. But honestly, if I don't care about you or I don't love you, I don't care what you have to say about me. Yeah, I'm fat. So what? Wow, thanks for stating the obvious, I mean, we all know I'm fat. Thank you. Okay, move on. So if I don't love you, I don't care about you. I don't care about the negative things you have to say about me. And that took me a while to develop that. So I think it's really helped me to deal with all the haters and the shamers and the fat phobia and the trolling that I get. And now I just laugh at them because I'm fat and happy, fat and sassy, and I've replaced all those ugly tapes that I used to have in my brain with these lovely compliments that people have given to me. And it's really kind of put some bounce in my step, as I mentioned earlier. All right, I feel like I'm rambling now, so I'm going to wrap it up. Again, just believe and internalize all those compliments you get from anybody in your life and start to believe them. And if you're interested in any romance toys or some really great lubricant, we sell it on my website, blissconnection.com. And I did create a coupon code for all the sheisme.com partners and members and the viewers. And the code is sheisme25 for 25% off. And I love this amazing silicone lubricant called Pure, PJUR. And I'm giving a bottle away along with a sex toy. So I donated those to the She Is Me conference. So hopefully one of you lovely people will be the winner of that amazing lubricant. And even if you're in a relationship with yourself, this lubricant is amazing. This lubricant is good for all kinds of sex, and it's actually a really great moisturizer and great for your hair if your hair is frizzy. And I love it. And I think maybe Lisa might also be a fan of it if I remember correctly. I don't think she would mind if I say that. She's kind of like an open book like I am. So yeah, blissconnection.com is my website. She's Me 25 is the discount. If you want to follow me on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Curvy Girl Inc. And I would love to connect with you there. And my email is blissconnection@gmail.com. If there's any questions I can answer for you or help you to learn how to get rid of those ugly tapes and replace them with these lovely compliments that people give you all the time. Don't forget, you are perfection and you are hot. Thanks, everybody. Take care.